out.
And what you see on the screen in those parts is an awful lot of what Jimmy Stewart really is.
What you see is what you get.
I've had a wonderful life. I thank God for it.
The first time I saw Jimmy Stewart in a movie, I was a teenager growing up in Nebraska.
Coming up next, some of Jimmy Stewart's most glamorous co-stars. And Destry rides again, The Philadelphia Story, and It's a Wonderful Life.
I know some of you have been wondering why you so often see a Tampa address on your television screen. Some of you have even expressed the concern that your contributions support the Tampa station, or that it disappears into the coffers of the University of South Florida. I want to assure you the money you contribute to WSFP-TV does go toward the purchase of programs you enjoy on Channel 30, your community public television station. WSFP-TV is a very young station, only 3.5 years old. Right now, all we have is a transmitter and 3 full-time professional staff members. We do get a lot of help from our sister station in Tampa, WUSF-TV, which shares its production facilities and its staff with us. The Tampa staff processes your checks, mails your premiums, and answers your questions. WSFP-TV needs its own staff and local production facilities. Once it achieves this, we will qualify for hundreds of thousands of dollars in state and federal funds. But until then, your contribution is essential in broadcasting the programs you enjoy on WSFP. Please call our toll-free number now or send your membership check of $30 or more to the address shown on your screen. Remember, your contribution is still tax deductible, so join me today in the celebration of TV worth watching in Southwest Florida.
Coming soon, the greatest names in country music history on Country Music Legends. Marty Robbins, Loretta Lynn, Chet Atkins with Tom Bresch, Willie Nelson with the Texas Playboys, Patti Page, George Strait, Lynn Anderson, Bobby Bare, and more.
Saturday night at 8 on WSFP Channel 30.
Hello, my name is Patty Bartlett, and I'm the director of the Fort Myers Historical Museum. The Historical Museum is in the former Atlantic Coastline Railroad Depot on Peck Street in downtown Fort Myers, and cars such as this used to be a common sight outside the depot building. But cars exactly like this were certainly not common when the building opened in 1924, and they're not common now. This is the Esperanza, the last private railroad car manufactured by the Pullman Company in 1930, and it has come back home to Fort Myers. The museum building was the Atlantic Coastline Railroad Depot when it opened up in 1924. 11 rows of tracks serviced the Fort Myers area, and naturally there was a water tower for the water-powered steam engines. The Atlantic Coastline Railroad Depot was on the southern edge of Fort Myers when it opened in 1924, and as it opened, the royal palms were only small twigs in front of the station. Today, those royal palms are 60 feet high, and the station is just south of Anderson Avenue, a main thoroughfare in Fort Myers. Life aboard the Esperanza must have been very grand. One could step in from the observation platform, walk across your lounge, sink into a leather-covered chair, check the rearview mirror to make sure traffic is as it should be, ring for the porter to bring you a drink, and then check the dials to make sure that air pressure is where it's supposed to be, or to make sure that you're on schedule so you reach New York City on time. Or if you wished, you could write a letter home to the folks and post it at the next station. But let's look further at the Esperanza because there's a lot more to see. Much of the equipment on the Esperanza is still in place from that first construction. The rose-patterned carpet is still in place. The mahogany-paneled walls are original equipment, as are the brass appointments everywhere you look. Inside there are 4 staterooms, each with 2 pull-down beds and a sink and a mahogany-paneled vanity table. Further on inside the car is a table seating 8 people, another mahogany-paneled sideboard, and further on back, the kitchen and the servants' quarters. Come with me now and let's take a look. The staterooms in the Esperanza pack a lot of elegance in a small amount of space, from the solid brass drinking glass holder to the brass knobs on the dresser below. The 2 beds, 1 lower berth and 1 upper berth, are the twin size, and the straw-filled mattresses are still amazingly comfortable. The dining room in the Esperanza would seat 8 people, who would be served by the porter who would emerge from the kitchen at the end of the hallway on the right side. During evening hours, the dining room would be lit by the brass-trimmed dome lights in the ceiling of the car. The Esperanza was a giant among private railroad cars. Even George Pullman himself, the maker of private railroad cars, had smaller railroad cars for his own use. His largest private railroad car, the one that held his pipe organ, was only 66 feet long. The Esperanza is 85 feet long. The Esperanza weighs 200 tons. It affords a magnificently smooth ride, and each of the 5 owners of the Esperanza commented on how beautifully the railroad car rode. One of the owners of the Esperanza changed the name of the car to the Miami after the city he loved. But now that the car has come back to Fort Myers, we have renamed it the original name, the Esperanza. The Esperanza is currently being restored at the Historical Museum. We hope to have it open to the public after the first of the year. So come to downtown Fort Myers and see the Historical Museum and the Esperanza.
It's the loneliest place in the world, and one man alone. Dodge Norden sails around the world in record-breaking time. It's a story of courage, risk, and what it takes to win. The season premiere of Adventure.
Monday night at 8 on WSFP-TV, Channel 30.
It's a celebration of public television, of TV worth watching. Won't you please join us by becoming a new or renewing member?
Your membership support is important and easy. Call our toll-free number now or mail your tax-deductible contribution of $30 or more to the address shown on your screen. Join us in the celebration of TV worth watching today by pledging your support for the many fine programs you enjoy on this station.
WSFP-TV, Fort Myers.
Coming up in Part 3, Jimmy Stewart in some classic westerns and an invisible white rabbit.
WSFP-TV is looking for a home. We want to bring you local programs that share your interests and deal with your concerns. We want to celebrate life in Southwest Florida. But to do that, WSFP needs a television studio with lights, cameras, action, and of course, walls. And with a studio and equipment, WSFP will take another important step towards qualifying for hundreds of thousands of dollars in state and federal funds. But until then, your personal support is invaluable in providing quality public television in Southwest Florida. Won't you consider coming home as a new or renewing member? The WSFP contribution levels range from $30 to $1,000. We offer charge card and installment giving to help you budget your support.
Join in the celebration of TV worth watching by becoming a new or renewing member today. Call our toll-free number now or mail your tax-deductible contribution of $30 or more to the address shown on your screen.
You take another one of the simple services, the Postal Service. As somebody once pointed out to me, it's a word I don't know very well. To call it Postal Service is an oxymoron. I don't know about you, but when a piece of mail actually arrives, I'm always amazed, you know? This is Palo Alto, California's remarkably successful University National Bank. And believe it or not, this is the bank's founder and chairman of the board, Carl Schmidt. And it's completely different here. It's a matter of attitude. You have an overdraft. You're not treated like the great bank robber Willie Sutton. The assumption is that you were on vacation, that inadvertently overlooked it. They go out of their way not to charge you an overdraft fee. That's the whole feeling of the place.
Tom Peters shocks us with remarkable examples of service in America.
Monday night at 9 on WSFP-TV, Channel 30.
From judge to fisherman, from killer to priest, Spencer Tracy played them all brilliantly. And now his legendary leading lady, Katharine Hepburn, pays tribute.
Take a look at Spencer's career. The immediate number of directors, writers, and several generations of actors. And in the end, I think you're going to agree with me. Spencer was in a class by himself.
The Spencer Tracy Legacy.
Tuesday evening as the celebration continues.
This program is made possible by a grant from the Christian Brothers Winery, Napa Valley, California.
Celebration calls for champagne, the way hot dogs call for mustard. But still, that's what I call a waste of fizz. Champagne is really for drinking. The bubbles are expensive to put into the wine. They're what makes it taste so marvelously invigorating. So I employ a well-tried method for getting the cork out under control, which leaves the wine and the bubbles intact. Under the glossy wrappings, the cork is held in by this sort of cage of twisted wire. The trick is to untwist the twirly bit of the wire and remove it, bearing the cork, but without taking your hands away from the cork. This thumb makes sure the cork, if it's loose, won't fly in someone's eye or through the window. With 80 pounds per square inch of pressure behind it, the hospital bills could be really nasty if the missile goes haywire. If the cork won't twist, a tool like this gives you the leverage you need. And if you're still stuck, you can always use a corkscrew, like this. The second tip is that things can happen faster than you intended, so have some wine glasses ready. If the bottle's nicely chilled and nobody's been shaking it up, the cork will sit tight. I just need to budge it slightly to overcome the inertia, and the pressure wells inside will pop it gently out. All calm and under control. Even more mysteriously, if you want to keep the fizz in a half-empty bottle in the fridge, the handle of a silver teaspoon seems to do the trick. Just like that. If you don't believe in magic, then this stopper will give a really tight grip and no bubble can possibly escape. Bubbles are the beauty of champagne, so don't waste them by serving it in wide open glasses like this, even if there is a legend that they were modeled on Marie Antoinette's breast. Champagne deserves a beautiful, tall, narrow glass so that you can really watch the bubbles streaming up and let them tickle your nose. I'm Hugh Johnson.
Vincent Minnelli was a man of incomparable creative vision. His films astonish our eyes, lift our spirits, and put us on the edge of our seats. Gigi, An American in Paris, Lust for Life, Some Came Running. He contributed 34 films to our screen heritage. Minnelli on Minnelli, Liza Remembers Vincent, is Liza Minnelli's memoir of her father, a man in love with the magic of the movies.
Wednesday at 8 on WSFP Channel 30.
My father gave me my dreams. Come to think of it, he gave a lot of people their dreams.
Vincent Minnelli was a director of incomparable creative vision. He created musicals of swirling extravagance. An American in Paris, Bandwagon, Gigi. Dramas of intense power and passion. Some Came Running, Lust for Life, and comedies of wit and mischief. The Long, Long Trailer, contributing an unbelievable total of 34 films to our screen heritage. Minnelli on Minnelli. Liza Remembers Vincent is Liza Minnelli's loving television memoir of her father. Vincent Minnelli, a man in love with the magic of the movies.
Coming Wednesday, March 18th to WSFP-TV, Channel 30.
Great performances, the best in dance, music, and drama, is made possible by a grant from Exxon. Exxon, quality you can count on in the performing arts. Great Performances is also made possible by grants from the National Endowment for the Arts, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, this station, and other public television stations. Coming up next, Stewart as Glenn Miller and Charles Lindbergh, some television surprises, and the Hitchcock films.
$778,000. That's how much WSFP-TV could have received in state and federal funds this year, but didn't. These funds can be ours once we meet the Corporation for Public Broadcasting's qualifications. The CPB requires a studio with equipment and a staff equivalency of 10 full-time professionals. Right now, WSFP has 3 staff members and no local studio facility. That is why your contribution is critical to demonstrate that we are serious about public television in Southwest Florida. But remember, until we qualify for state and federal funds, it's your contribution that supports the programs you enjoy on WSFP-TV. Please call our toll-free number now or mail your tax-deductible contribution of $30 or more to the address shown on your screen. Join in the celebration of TV worth watching in Southwest Florida by becoming a new or renewing member today.
You must remember this.
It is truly a gold mine of memories. A new exhibition at the Smithsonian Institution called Hollywood, Legend and Reality. How much do you remember?
I'm going Hollywood. I'll ballyhoo things to you. I'm going Hollywood.
Visiting the show, you're reminded that the movies represent shared personal experiences for millions of Americans. Film historian Michael Webb organized the exhibit.
And I think it's that triggering a memory of people who have seen films and had forgotten what they had seen, and now it's brought back to them, and hopefully with it, the pleasure they had when they first saw it.
The legend and reality of Hollywood take many forms. For instance, movies themselves have always ranged from pure make-believe to hard-edged realism, never more so than in the 30s.
There really wasn't any other form of entertainment that was universally available, that was affordable, and that offered a mixture of escape and uplift. From the dancing of Fred Astaire as the ordinary hoofer who somehow meets an heiress, to the more sober account of The Grapes of Wrath.
They can't wipe us out, they can't lick us. We'll go on forever, Pa, because we're the people.
The glamour of Hollywood is well represented here, but Michael Webb says that's only part of the story.
The theme is that thousands of uncredited, unsung heroes make possible the legend on screen, and that's the reality of Hollywood. And we wanted to juxtapose the celebration of these anonymous craftsmen with the great legends that we've all known and loved on screen.
One of the most visible behind-the-scenes crafts is costume design, represented in the show by such gowns as this one made for Ginger Rogers in Lady in the Dark, and the Scarecrow costume worn by Ray Bolger in The Wizard of Oz. And we can see the work of the special effects wizards. There's a 5-inch version of King Kong, one of many used in the original 1933 film, the Gozer Temple from Ghostbusters, and several models from the Star Wars trilogy.
The most exciting model, I think, is the mothership from Close Encounters, which it looks like an oil refinery and indeed was inspired by an oil refinery that Steven Spielberg saw and said, that's the mothership.
Film historian Michael Webb organized the exhibition Hollywood, Legend and Reality for the Smithsonian's Traveling Exhibition Service. The show will tour to New York, Los Angeles, and several other cities around the country. Here at the Smithsonian, this is Jesse Boggs.
I'm Della Reese. When you watch a show like this, it's easy to understand why we ask for your pledges. You know, it takes a lot of talent, a lot of imagination, and a lot of money to turn a good idea into a great program. And somebody's got to pick up the tab. Corporations help, and so do foundations, but it's up to you to get those shows on the air. So if you want to be able to keep on watching first-class television, you've got to be willing to make a first-class pledge. That's your ticket to more great programming.
Join in the celebration of TV worth watching by becoming a new or renewing member today. Call our toll-free number now or mail your tax-deductible contribution of $30 or more to the address shown on your screen.
From judge to fisherman, from killer to priest, Spencer Tracy played them all brilliantly. And now his legendary leading lady, Katharine Hepburn, pays tribute.
Take a look at Spencer's career. Meet a number of directors, writers, and several generations of actors. And in the end, I think you're going to agree with me. Spencer was in a class by himself.
The Spencer Tracy Legacy.
Tuesday evening as the celebration continues.
Vincent Minnelli was a man of incomparable creative vision. His films astonish our eyes, lift our spirits, and put us on the edge of our seats. Gigi, An American in Paris, Lust for Life, Some Came Running. He contributed 34 films to our screen heritage. Minnelli on Minnelli, Liza Remembers Vincent, is Liza Minnelli's memoir of her father, a man in love with the magic of the movies.
Wednesday at 8 on WSFP Channel 30.
Thelonious.
I learned so much from him.
Spear.
This is one of the inventors.
Monk.
The high priest of bebop.
He was more than a jazz musician. He was a jazz master. Don't miss Herbie Hancock, Dizzy Gillespie, Wynton Marsalis, and many others. Celebrating a jazz master, Thelonious Spear Monk, hosted by Debbie Allen and Bill Cosby.
Wednesday at 9:30 on WSFP Channel 30.
Celebrate one of Hollywood's most memorable actors in The Spencer Tracy Legacy, a tribute by Katharine Hepburn. Tuesday.
Hello, I'm Leonard Nimoy, and it's decision time. It's time to make up your mind to support public television or just sit on the sidelines and hope the good programs keep coming. But while you're thinking it over, let me remind you of something the philosopher Edmund Burke said. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Well, the same thing applies to the triumph of bad television. So get involved. Viewer-supported television is only as good as the viewers who support it.
It'll only take a minute or two to call our toll-free number or to mail your membership check to the address shown on your screen. This is truly a small investment in time compared to the many hours of entertainment and information you enjoy on this station. So take the time now. Join in the celebration of TV worth watching by pledging your tax-deductible support of $30 or more.
From the University of South Florida, this is WSFP-TV, Fort Myers. For the best in public television programming, watch Channel 30.
My family and I used to go out to